partnership and parenting. Your partner's trauma is a gift. The hokey pokey is messing you up. She saw her touch my penis. My narcissistic behaviors, my managing severe narcissism. Why are you afraid of rejection? Partnership and parenting. Welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast, guys. And I want to talk about this. Okay, first and foremost, your marriage is first. I don't know how many times we have to talk to people. I mean, I dare say it's like 75 or 85% of the people that come to us that still think, well, no, I had kids and they're my priority. Listen, you have to take care of children because children can't take care of themselves. I'm not an idiot, but you have to understand your wife, your husband is the fucking priority. Your kids will move out. You're not married to your children. It's not eternal with your children until you reunite in heaven after they've lived their long fucking life. Your wife or your husband is your priority.
Yes.
Yes.
When your wife or husband is being an asshole, though, that's when you start to gravitate towards spending more time with your children.
That's right.
And that's why we see so often husbands and wives mostly wives trying to justify why their relationship with their children comes before their relationship with their husbands, because their husband's being an asshole.
100%. And then
I don't know. I'd like to actually have a bird's eye view of their home, because I guarantee your children are being assholes too, unless you have perfect children. And then
no,
I want an instruction manual on
listen,
that.
Everybody's a bunch of fucking assholes until you start learning what we teach and you start changing it and creating the new life, the new marriage, because you're the new man, you're the new woman.
That's
okay. Right. And your children don't know any better because they're watching your example. You know, I just created this new video, this new ad, and I'm talking about, a lesson about discipline that, instructors at karate will teach, or jujitsu or whatever, doing the shit you don't want to do, but doing it because you must. It's a great lesson for children to learn, but the shit that parents spew out of their mouth, about discipline, taking accountability and responsibility. You're not even accountable for the relationship that's most important. The actions right in front of your children's eyes is typically not aligning with the shit that comes out of your mouth. What do you want your children to see? Now, some key things that I want to discuss today are very important, okay? When you have a misalignment in parenting, usually it's because you have a misalignment in partnership. That's why the marriage comes first. Okay? Almost always. Keep in mind, let's use something like spanking. Okay. Maybe one of you agrees with spanking and one of you doesn't. Listen, if you're connected, you will get through that conversation and you will make an appropriate plan based off what you believe. And you'll start to have real conversations about consequences, limits for your children, things like that, because you are united.
And you had a conversation,
That's
not
right.
Judging what the other person believes.
That's right. Because we are all a product of how we were raised. You cannot expect to have a great set of parents, which most of us did not, but let's get real. You have the best parents on the planet. Kathryn's talked about hers that treated her very well on a whole. Okay. On a whole, the home was pretty safe. On a whole, they were committed to each other and loved each other and everything was great. On a whole, everything should have been great. Okay. But we have different experiences. We have different wounds. We meet different people. You were a big partier. Let's just throw that in for the mix. For a number of years you partied. I don't see that your parents probably ever did that. You know what I mean? It's different.
My Pentecostal pastor father. No, he wasn't putting any cocaine up his nose.
That's right. That's what I'm getting at. So you can't
I didn't learn it anywhere.
You can't base, because your experiences, they set the foundation for who you are in every relationship. And then that experience sets the foundation for the next. So you can't make a good example based off your good parents, and you sure shit can't make one off your bad parents, because you can't just guess what works. Okay. So you have to get help. Hi, we're Cass and Kathryn. Okay. Now, excuse me.
Don't ask us for parenting help very often, though.
Well, no, we do, because we get it all the
theory.
Time, right?
It's so hard when you're in it. And I think that's the biggest thing, is we have so much empathy for parents, because no matter what we know, no matter how many things we know how to do, quote unquote, right, it doesn't mean that we do it all the time.
No, I would say parenting
is the biggest struggle for us.
The hardest, the most difficult struggle.
Because we have 3 little Casses. Yes. How would you deal with that?
Especially Riddick. Fuck.
Like, I was just kidding. They're definitely a combination of Cass and Kathryn. But I can't even be upset, because I think I was a really good child. I've heard that I was really easy and all those sorts of things. I don't know how, because I don't know. I wasn't scared of my parents. I don't know how I was easy. Anyway, our children, we do have one easy one, but then you put her into the mix with the other 2 that are not easy. And then it's like the perfect storm trifecta of little mini Cass and Kathryn. Everything negative about us comes out every day.
All of it. It's
the
2 tornadoes and a hurricane.
My 3% viciousness that I warn you guys about. I deal with this all the time.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and this is something that we'll deal with all the time with it. Trust me.
Oh, I love you so much,
gosh,
babe.
I love you. Thank God for you.
Oh,
I probably. Well, I don't know. Mexico was so close. If it wasn't for you, those children,
you'd be gone.
Actually, that's not true. I'm having a blast now. I recently started to use one of my own lessons and play with the kids more.
They're loving it.
They're loving it. And Riddick even is coming up to me more.
He gave you a kiss.
Yeah, he wanted a kiss.
So he puckers, you guys. So one thing so my kids don't look anything like me. They look like they could be my kids, and they are. They've got blue eyes and light hair and light skin. But if you're watching on YouTube, look, I've got a big pucker. And he doesn't really. He's practiced it, so he's getting better at it. But I have a big pucker. Riddick's looks identical to mine. Like, you cannot deny that child is mine when he puckers. And so he'll come up and he'll give me a big kiss. Gave me a kiss the other day, and then he leaned in and he wanted one from Dua. And Cass was like, you want a kiss? You want? Oh, okay. And normally he would never.
Yeah, kiss you, and he'd be like, it's okay.
And normally you'd be like, no, I don't kiss you.
The other day,
on the lips.
Not the other day. The other week, he was like, I don't really care what you have to say. And like, this is the stuff that's really hard to deal, right? And so we got to understand the first and foremost. I want to rewind. Okay, partnership first. Okay, that jealousy episode we just talked about, like, that can creep in when Riddick wants to give Mama a kiss and not me. Okay, when Riddick wants to stay with Mama but not me. When Riddick, you got to understand, you have to keep that under control. Okay, man that I am now today, I compartmentalize. It has nothing to do with Kathryn. It's just my relationship with Riddick, right? And so that's why I said I practice what I preach and play more with my kids, okay? Especially Riddick. He goes first for a reason, okay? And then you're going to have what we deal with all the time, which is how you support your partner when they're having a tough time. So a common one would be for man coming home from work. Mom's been with the kids for a while, having a tough time with the kids, and he wants to come in and get involved, and she doesn't really want the help, right? She's like, get away, or doesn't trust him, or why are you trying to control things or whatever? Because she doesn't feel united to you, okay? And so, you often work with the men on this, and you'll tell them, like, I'm the bomb at supporting you.
You are so good at support. No one is better.
Give some examples of what men can do to help.
You'll be the best one to give examples, because oftentimes when this happens, when he needs to step in and help me, it's because I'm dysregulated and I'm having a hard time, and I'm having a hard time with our children who are all under the age of 5 or 5 and under. And so one of the things that you do is, are you giving Mama a hard time? So if I'm getting frustrated with one of our children, he doesn't come in and say, hey, they didn't do XYZ and play devil's advocate and get on their side. He says, hey, are you giving Mama a hard time? Are you giving Mama a hard time? I don't want to see Mama frustrated. I need you to be a team, and I need you to work with Mama. So he doesn't necessarily come in and, squash them. He just asks a question and says, I need you to be a team. I need you to listen to Mama. Are you giving her a hard time? I don't want to see Mama like this. This is my wife. Right?
Yeah.
And that would be kind of a separate one. If let's say it's mostly just Riddick, but if Riddick speaks to me in a way that's not respectful, he'll come in and say, this is my wife. You don't speak to my wife that way. Which I think is really important, because he needs to learn how to treat people, but especially women. And that might be sexist to you guys. I don't care. We are very traditional, and we have traditional values. So I don't care if you don't agree. I almost just flipped the bird, but I kept my hand down. But I almost did. Well, but little boys especially need to learn, because you know what? Most men are bigger than women. They're more intimidating than women. This is why women have learned to be more masculine and be more assertive. But if you can teach children, especially little boys, don't speak to my wife that way.
That's right.
Don't speak to any woman, because then it translates into don't speak to any woman. Don't speak to your sisters that way. They're little girls. And one of the big lessons you teach is that boys take care of girls. And my daughters know, if Riddick doesn't put the toilet seat down, for example, Riddick didn't take care of us. Or if he beats them into the bathroom and doesn't let them go pee first. Aren't boys supposed to take care of girls? And I want them to think that. It's not an equal playing field. Men should take care of women. Because women will take care of men in a different way.
100%. This is the dumb show. I'm so glad you brought all this up. And it's kind of a tangent from where I was going today. But it's so important to understand. We think that we should argue about the toilet seat. No, fuck. Are you a man who's a gentleman? Put the seat down. because she doesn't need to fall into the toilet, you dumb fuck. What if the seat was up all the time and you fell into the toilet? Like, it's not an argument. It's a fucking wake-up call.
And
okay?
She can do it herself.
Of course she can.
But there's a lot of things that women do for men that men can't do for themselves. I think you can think of one really big one. So if you can't put the damn toilet seat down, so if you can't respect her with simple things, why do you think that she would respect you with her body? And it's not transactional. It's not tit for tat. It's not that she's doing that because she wants you to put the toilet seat down. It's a mutual respect where we feel taken care of. Go back to what we talked about with the saving the dogs versus the kids. I feel taken care of because I know if we have an emergency, I can't tell you the number of times I've woken him up in the middle of the night for who knows what sound is in the kitchen. And he doesn't mumble and turn over. I just say, hey baby, can you go check the kitchen? He gets up immediately.
And how many men just stay in bed, go, ugh. It's the dumbest shit.
Because if he stayed in bed, do you know what would happen? I would get up and go. And if there's a burglar in our house, do you think I'm taking them out? No.
I was talking.
Then our whole family is dead.
I was talking to somebody the other day. I can't remember who. Maybe it was a DM. They were talking about their husband has no manners. Okay, and they're Southern. Okay,
a Southern gentleman with no manners,
only to her. Okay, and so
gross.
This is the shit that your kids are seeing. Okay. So first they see you guys not being on a team. Then you're not teaching them the proper lessons. And then you come in and like she said, you come in and squash them. You be the firm fucking dad, Listen, there is a time and there is a place. And I understand. But if it's your MO, you're not supporting the family unit. You're not supporting the connection between you and your children or you and your wife. You're coming in and being a dictator. This will never work. Okay. You need to come in and make it softer. It could be as simple as your wife is having a tough time. Hey, baby, I just ran you a bath. Let me take care of it. I don't even do that anymore. Now it's just like, hey, baby, I got this. Right. And if she's good still, we're united. She'll go, it's okay, babe. I'm good. Okay. It was just a check for her. And she's like, I got this. Regulate.
Which is often because of where we are. That's normally what it's like. I'm like, if he steps in, I know that I better check myself. Because if he actually steps in, it means I've stepped out of line. He doesn't correct me. He comes in to try to help me, but him trying to help is enough of a correction. Yeah. Because we're connected.
That's the thing. See, so many of you guys, you can't unite as parents, as a couple first, because you're busy correcting what you don't like, how the punishment goes, or the lessons you're learning. And it happens all the time with the stuff that we teach.
Well, I'm actually bad at it. I'm worse at correcting instead of coming in with love. And this is probably really common. I think this is really important for the women to hear. I spend more time with the children. And so my fuse is also, I shouldn't say and though, my fuse is a lot longer. And so if I've been with the kids for hours and hours, and then he comes home and his fuse is short and then he's a little bit snippy with them, I'm very quick to come in and correct. It doesn't mean that it's right. But this is something that happens in families where the woman is like, I've just tolerated so much. I didn't yell. You're keeping your cool. You feel so proud as a mom when you haven't yelled at your kids when they're being assholes.
Yeah, for sure.
And then dad comes in and within 30 minutes is yelling. You feel this righteous justice come out and you want to correct your husband. I do that. I try not to do it, but I do it every once in a while. And I always feel bad because I know that I shouldn't be. It drives a wedge not only between the two of us, but it triangulates.
I was thinking about this the other day, though. It would drive a wedge. And it has. In the past, there were times when it would. But I thought about this the other day because you did correct me the other day. And I can't remember what it was about. Anyways, I came in. I was short. I was doing I know what it was. It doesn't matter. It was something to do with business. And I came in and I didn't practice what I preach. I didn't come in with the great tone, and I was short with Riddick, I think, in particular. And you stood up for Riddick and, hey, don't speak or don't say whatever. And I thought about it after. And, so at first, there are times, let's get real, where I'm not liking a lot about one of the children. Okay. Riddick, I'm going through a phase with that until we started doing all sexual playtime stuff. But there's
also important for men to hear.
Yeah. And so I just immediately, when she corrected me, said, no, he's a fucking asshole. He treats me like shit. I don't like it. Blah, blah, blah. So that's it. It's done. Okay. Now, the first thing I can do is go, what can I do to take responsibility and do better? I immediately start playing with the fucking kids more. All of them.
Like the next day you made that change.
Yes. If you haven't heard, our books are out. That's Disrupting Divorce, The New Man, Saving Struggling, Sexless, Toxic Marriages, and Kathryn's Behind the White Picket Fence. Go grab them on Amazon. the next thing is, I was thinking about how it doesn't drive a wedge between us. We're immediately happy.
We repaired right after.
Yeah, because here's the
I
thing.
hugged you and I said, I'm sorry. Told you how I felt.
Actually, don't even think that's not what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of a different day maybe, but you're so good at being a unit and a partner. It's separate.
Right.
Even though in fact, what you said to me, and maybe it was a few days later, you said, I know you struggle with the kids.
Right.
Kids are not. I always thought I wanted to be a dad, and it turns out it's really hard for me. Okay. And but you said, I know you struggle. You understood where it came from, and you're always my fucking partner everywhere. So even when she's protecting the kids, I'm no longer hurting over it.
Right.
Because we are so united.
Right.
Right. I understand she should protect the kids if I'm out of line. That is the way it's supposed to go. Just like you could do that for your wife too, man. Right. At the end of the day, though, you got to get the connection between you two, or else it's a fucking autocorrect and nobody gives a fuck.
That's right.
It's a spell check gone wrong. You're fucked up. We can't even read the text. We can't even read it.
Love it.
Okay. All right.
That's so good.
Thank you.
That's so good, baby.
I love you.
Love you.
Okay, guys. See you next time.
Bye.